Hello, Nico. This is Sean, and I'm doing a recording for your interview questions because I figured that's probably the easiest way to actually get it. Yeah. All right, question one. You ask about the fact that I was mainly hosting. Did I miss casting a 12-plus hour day? And what did I think of working with Smix? So I actually did miss casting the 12-hour day because, I mean, it's really fun to have the front row seat to the games and to get to sort of see the players doing their amazing things, and it's the sort of divine focus that you get while casting. There's no risk of being distracted by someone going, oh hey, just quick question because you're going to go on stage soon and this and that. You actually do get to focus fully on the game. And hosting is hard. Oh my god, is hosting hard. Because casting's hard too, but I'm used to casting. Casting is like, okay, you need to go run for 3 hours without stopping. But hosting is like saying you need to sprint as fast as you can for 5 minutes. You really can't get it wrong. So I kind of had to psych myself up and be hyper-focused for that period of time and then quit. So definitely a different pacing, and definitely gives me tons of respect for people like Red Eye who are amazing. And of course working with Smix is lovely because she is cheerful and perky and goofy and good at her job. Aw yeah. Here we go. Ah, delicious. What did you think of DreamHack? How's the player lineup format setup? How's the event for you? Which players let you down and who surprised you? I would say that the only real letdown from DreamHack is that there were so many amazing storylines from good players, and a lot of those storylines just sort of fell by the wayside. Things like, oh my gosh, Demaga beat Flash 2-0. Oh, can't wait to see him next round. Oh wait, he didn't advance to the next round. He got knocked out. So I mean, that's very natural. That's just what happens in a competitive environment. But I honestly think that it's a sort of cool example of the effect WCS is having on everything. There were a non-trivial amount of players who attended DreamHack because it was one of the last chances to gather points for the WCS BlizzCon Grand Finals. And that's one thing that StarCraft has always really lacked, is the storyline of the year. It used to just be big tournament every weekend, and here it's like, oh yeah, it's a big tournament this weekend, but it's in the greater storyline of things leading up to BlizzCon, and it actually had that impact, which is really, really cool. So let me just turn down my volume on another application that's annoying me. Alright, cool. I've been working with Red Bull a lot this year. How's it been? What kind of work do you do with them? Is it only casting, hosting? In the past, I've done an extremely involved role actually putting the entire events together. This year, it's been much more of consulting. Rob Simpson, formerly of Blizzard Esports, now working at Red Bull. One of my good friends, actually. It's amazing to work with him because I can talk to him on that very straightforward, easy level, or he can just ping me on a weekend if he, has a question, or if I have a question. So it's been really great because, Rob is brilliant, and he's a huge evangelist for esports, and he's been really doing some huge steps forward, understanding what's going on within the Red Bull organization, and sort of helping show them why esports is amazing. So I would say I love Red Bull, and they all really get it. And they're all appropriately skeptical, like, does this really show results in terms of numbers? And then the fact that the numbers keep coming in is great. So, it's awesome. Also, I cast and host for them, as you say. Yeah. Question 3. Red Bull announced 8-player, $50,000 tournament, blah, 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 blah. Is that going to be special for you? What kind of non-tour activities would you like to see? Well, certainly this event is going to be awesome because if you saw Red Bull Battlegrounds last year, really slick production value, and even though I'm providing a lot of help consulting wise to Red Bull, I'm not being really involved in the nitty gritty. So for me, it's a chance to participate in an event almost from a fan point of view. I get to show up and go, oh my god, is this what it's going to be like? See all the decor and that sort of things. And of course, the non-tournament activities I'd like to see is Star Strikers, and that is a very easy question. Very, very easy. Question number 4. What do you think of the North-American StarCraft 2 scene? With NASL running WCS and MLG having to drop StarCraft 2 from Columbus, what is needed in your opinion? In my opinion, the biggest thing that is needed is ladder significance. There should really be more weight put on the ladder for something. I mean, whether it be monthly tournaments based on the Grandmaster ladder, whether it be a way for players to qualify for WCS or to qualify for a non-WCS event. That I think is big, because from a day-to-day perspective, I think it's quite hard as a player to just hop on the ladder and just to play the ladder and to have no sense of the direction that is taking you in. Even if there was an end-of-season tournament, at least that would be something. Right now, if you get into the events, that's great, but otherwise, what do you do at home? Well, you should ladder, and you should be rewarded for that. My thoughts of WCS 2013, I think it's been amazing in helping to provide a story for the whole year. It's a really clear build up to the finals, and if you look at the top 16 point wise, I cannot wait to see that tournament. And that's very cool that the system is going to provide us with 16 fantastic players for the finals. Obviously, there's been a whole bunch of bumps along the way, and it's my dream to have all those smoothed out in 2014 and to have a lot more cohesion. Also, I think there needs to be stronger celebration of the champions. You get Duck Duck, who won WCS Europe, had a really emotional moment, gained a ton of fans as a result, and then he goes to the Season 2 finals and he gets knocked out pretty early, and that's that. And really would honestly kind of like to have had him be celebrated as a hero for a little bit longer. But I think 2014 portends good things. Sorry, I'm drinking coffee. So good. Question 6. Working on a browser-based RTS game with artillery. Codenamed Project Atlas. Where did you get the idea to, or who offered the project in the first place? Any ETAs, etc., 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 color themes, other questions, a lot of that stuff. So let's see, where to begin. Okay, so I actually have known the artillery folks through the After Hours Gaming League. We were all hardcore StarCraft players. Well, I should say, they're hardcore StarCraft players. I don't think I need to defend the fact that I play StarCraft. But they were StarCraft players from Team Facebook in the After Hours Gaming League, and began this startup, Artillery, to do this amazing new technology, and they just love RTS games. So just in talking to them about it, it wound up being a very, very natural sort of collaboration. So it wasn't exactly me approaching them or anyone saying, here's the official day one start. It was just like, oh yeah, this actually makes a lot of sense. We should totally do this. It sounds awesome. Any ETAs on first gameplay video, closed betas. I make no promises. Isn't that great? Isn't that an easy thing? Just solved that problem. Boom. But one thing that I will note is that beta has an unfair connotation with it. When most companies release a beta, it's an amazing game that's like totally done already. It's not fair. We're big believers in just getting anything in front of people as fast as possible and fixing it as we go. To hide away and to not involve the community is a mistake, because in a sense, in the same way that anyone can look at a piece of art and appreciate it and talk about what they like and don't like, anyone with any degree of expertise on a game can give amazing feedback and that sort of thing. So we want to have tons of things that are long before a beta to gather feedback and design a game for the community based on that. In terms of color theme, we were thinking of designing the colors to be inside out. In other words, I don't know. Much like the design, we want to do lots of iterating. We want to try this art style and put it in front of people and see what they think, and then try something way different and then see what they think of that, and then do lots of internal tests with ourselves and this sort of thing. So it's a big fun work in progress. Number 7, Blizzard has released their card game called Hearthstone. Do you like it so far? Have you played it much? Hearthstone is fucking amazing. I love Hearthstone. The amazing aspect to me about Hearthstone is the fact that it's so much about the interface. And I mean, the game itself is amazing, but the interface, how compelling that is just mind-blowing. Very often I'll work a 12, 16-hour day, something like that, and I'll be just obliteratedly tired at the end. And I can just open up Hearthstone and just like play a game without even building a new deck and just enjoy all the explosions and the visceral feeling that the game gives. It honestly has that nice crunchy feel that you get when you play Diablo, where you kill dudes and get loot and all that good reward. So yeah, I love it. I've probably spent like $150 on it. It's so good. Number 8, you have a bit of Magic the Gathering background. What do you think are the biggest differences between Magic the Gathering and Hearthstone? What kind of changes would you like to see in Hearthstone? That's a big one. I mean, fundamentally, the mana systems function very differently, and the way the combat functions is very, very different. But I think that these sorts of things are uninteresting to note because they're kind of obviously different in that sense. Well, let me think. What do I think are the big ones? Probably the card design in Hearthstone. Generally speaking, every single one of those cards is pretty strong and functions pretty well if you construct the appropriate deck. And in fact, a lot of the cards, their strength very much so seems to be in line with the deck that they're placed in. Whereas you look at Magic, and Magic has so many cards released in each set, and there's an incredibly wide spectrum of how good or bad a card is. And I love that aspect about Magic, and I would like to see that more in Hearthstone. In other words, I would like to see bad cards printed, and mediocre cards, and pretty good cards, and great and fantastic cards, because it's this sort of range that I think it gives me the feeling of exploration in Magic. I sit down and I look at a set and I go, okay, that card's good. And then I feel like I'm a good player because I was able to identify that card was good. And this card is pretty good, would probably need these other things. And then there's these middle-ish cards that I can't really tell if they're good or bad. And that's where I think that you get expert deck builders excelling, that they can look at these sort of middling, mediocre cards, but that have really specific purposes that they can build an entire deck around, and it would be amazing. And I'm sure this criticism doesn't even really count because Hearthstone has just released its first round of cards, and I have no idea what they'll do in the future. But I hope they do, and I hope they're not scared to release those, proverbially speaking, bad cards. It's fun to sift through cards and determine what's good. Number 9, you are a full-time YouTuber. Not exactly. TotalBiscuit has been very open regarding the changes of YouTube during the last year and a half. What do you think of YouTube currently? Are channels better than they were before? Are they moving to the wrong direction? I say that I'm not a full-time YouTuber because YouTube is just one of the things that I do. You know, there's Twitch streaming, and then there's YouTube, and then there's the website, there's the After Hours Gaming League, and there's the casting I do, and there's the consulting. So, I'm also working on Project Atlas with Artillery. So in a sense, I don't even know why I'm going on about this. I think I could just say that I'm not a full-time YouTuber and you get it. But here I am on this recording. Look at me. I could even edit this out, but look at that. I'm still going. And now I'm just having a fun time. Let me actually come back to the question. I don't exactly have much of an opinion on YouTube, on the changes. I know a lot of people have been really upset about it. I've largely just been talking to other YouTubers about the strategy to best utilize the existing system, and then just sort of leaving it at that. I think that for other people who, like TotalBiscuit, are vocal and understand the space really, really well and will make the sort of influential comments that need be, I don't really feel the need. I don't know if I've really been frustrated per se. But it is changing quite a bit, and I think that it could be frustrating to some people because they have to switch stuff around a good bit. But I don't know. I'm pretty content. Working in the esports space, you get used to things changing a lot. Yeah. Number 10. What is the Day9 Daily Show, and why should people unfamiliar with it give it a go? Because, well, you keep putting these multi-part questions down. It's throwing me off. Nico. So, yeah, the Day9 Daily is a show where we look at the best StarCraft 2 players playing the most amazing StarCraft 2 games, and we break down their strategies so that you can do it too. And the reason you should totally check out the Daily is twofold. One, esports is an amazing space because you can witness the amazing strategy that an expert does, and then you can go home and do that strategy yourself. it's not like watching, you know, a professional football team, and if they do a good play and you want to do it, well, then you have to go find a field, you have to get the rest of the team, you have to coordinate with that team to live out that fantasy. Not the case in video games. You can easily do it all yourself. And that's what the Daily tries to do, is to say, hey, look, here's exactly what's going on. Literally just steal it as it's being stated. Done. And the other thing is that we like to have a hell of a lot of fun on the Day9 Daily. We have the best chat in the universe, where everyone's very friendly and pleasant and funny. And you should totally join the fun. And that's it. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.